They're called Pegasus wireless technology, and it really can change the way sports is evaluated across the board, not only in running, but also in other sports, right, Tony?
Right. It came out of the UCLA Wireless Health Institute, and it started off with Parkinson's and stroke victims to try to monitor their abnormal gaits. And what happened is we finally turned it into small enough technology so that elite athletic competitors can now wear it, and we can monitor and track the changes in their stride dynamic. And here's our first look at some of our metrics, and this is the pace. Now you can see, some of that difference in her pace has got to do not so much with effort, but with lay of the land, as the first part of this course is going downhill, and you can see the first part of it, how fast she was going in the early part of that. And then climbing into downtown, you can see how she raised in pace. Now, the effort looks pretty even to me visually, and so that difference in pace is pretty much lay of the line. Let's move on to our next characteristic that we want to look at. This is the three. This is her cadence, her kick dynamic, and her ground contact time over a 6-mile spread. Now, it's not so much what the number is, it's how steady she is. And the cadence, she started off, and now you can see with that hill in the middle, but other than that, rock solid. That's what you remember. Bill Kaiser, who's one of the inventors of this, was telling me, he's monitoring us here on stage, and he's telling us she's just rock solid, kick dynamic, raised up a little bit, and then ground contact time, again, very, very solid given the lay and flow of the land. You can see her cadence is very high. I mean, in other words, she's running hard. There's no nonsense here. You can see that, but look how steady it is. It's gone up just a little bit recently. See how it's gone up just a little bit? That's because that move was made, and she's trying to answer that move.
And you see it in comparison to Susan Mitchell.
Susan Mitchell, right, in the blue, and you can see the cadence started off high and now is decreasing. Susan Mitchell is a mother of three from Venice, California, who's an LA run runner who has run 14 marathons with the best of 3:15:06 last year and last fall. And here's the kick dynamic. And you can get the elite athlete with a much higher back kick, obviously generating much more force, more power. But again, look at how steady both of them are. But Susan Mitchell, again, with 14 marathons under her belt, very much of a veteran. She knows her potential. She knows her training. So that really shows how, and look at ground contact time. Just as we would expect, the average runner, I mean the very good average runner, don't get me wrong, has a higher ground contact time because she's not as efficient flicking over the ground. As we look at the comparison on Simon Jorge in the lead on the men's side and Belainish Gebra in second place on the women's side. And once again, you can see that the cadence of Belainish Gebra is higher than the cadence of Simon Jorge.
And you can see this is brand new technology for people that are wondering, well, how come you don't have a monitor or a sensor on Fatuma Sato? This is brand new technology making its debut in the Honda LA Marathon.
And look at this. Here's his kick dynamic. How far up does his heel go at every stride? And again, look on the far right of the graph. What was a steady line throughout the first 18 miles is now you're starting to see it go up, which means the kick dynamic, he's now picked up the pace a little bit. When your kick goes up, means you're running a little bit faster. You look like you're on your hill right now. We're looking up, Ed, by the way, up on the screen, we have the Pegasus wireless data on cadence, kick dynamic, and ground contact time for number 4, Simon Jorge. His cadence, again, is evened up just a little bit. You can see on the far right, 4:55, Ed, that last mile, so that's very solid. Kick dynamic, it went up a little bit in that surge, before, like it's mile 17 or 18, where he broke that pack apart, and then you can see he went back down as he settled back into his pace. And ground contact time, again, you can see they're on a little bit of a hill, and we can notice that the ground contact time has gone up because you're spending more time on the ground as you have to go up this particular hill. Belainish Gebra in second place is a full 2 minutes and 30 seconds down, but here's a look at her cadence, kick dynamic, and ground contact time. Look at that ground contact time on the far right of the screen. You can see that fatigue factor just spike right up. Look at her kick dynamic. Her back kick has fallen off the chart. Her cadence has dropped significantly. I mean, all the data that you want to see as he goes over 2 hours and 12 minutes on a perfect day to run.
Yeah, Simon and Jorge.
2:12:11 unofficially for him.
What an incredible feat for him.